a lot of guys from James Madison. How much of their scheme and what they're doing is similar to what he was doing a year ago?
Very similar. It's a very technical scheme. I mean, they do a lot of stuff, so a lot of coverages at you. They can get you in passing situations. They can make it, really hard to move the football just with all the different fronts and coverages and pressures that they do.
With the running back rotation, it continues to maybe shift every week. I mean, just what are your thoughts on the way that's played out so far? And would you like to, again, maybe get one guy you can lean on a little bit heavier?
Yeah, I mean, we'd like to have one guy. But right now it is what it is, which is, they all three have traits that are helping us do things on offense. So until one separates himself, and I don't mean that as they're playing bad. It's just they're all just, they're playing good. They're playing at the same level. So we'll use all these guys, as much as possible as long as we're moving the ball forward.
How did Dylan come back from what was his sort of first period of struggle in the game?
Great. I mean, he didn't skip a beat, celebrating in the locker room after the game. Some guys you'd think would be down and kind of wasn't that at all, just being a great leader. And he came back ready to work in his open week, had a great open week. A great preparation last week, which bled into this week.
Did anything in particular that Rutgers did throw him off?
I don't think so. I think it's just one of those things where a receiver may not have been where he was supposed to be, the timing of the play, maybe didn't see this defender till late, kind of got your eyes off of certain routes and things of that nature. But I think it's just one of those games where a couple things happened and we weren't as smooth as we usually were.
As you self-analyzed at the bye, is there any particular challenge you set forth for the guys coming into the second half of the season, or something that stood out to you and kind of that reflection?
Yeah, third downs. We got to be way better on third downs. I think if we can stay on schedule, we're good. But you get into that certain down and distance where you have to throw and catch. We're not as good as we need to be in order to accomplish the goals that we have. The rest of the way out.
How do you feel like your receivers did in the first half of the season getting open? Where would you like to see the receivers grow?
Constantly. I mean, I'm an old receiver guy, so I'm constantly on those guys. Just run angry, get open angry, play angry, carry the football angry, go up and get it. So very pleased with the playmaking ability, ability to run by people, ability to catch 50-50 balls. Every day that we come to work, we're going to try to improve, and I think we can always get better second level releases and route running and things of that nature. But globally, very pleased.
There were some perimeter blocking penalties in the first half of the season. I know some of those were questionable.
No, they were penalties. They were totally penalties. I mean, you can't block people in the back and you can't hold. So it's been a priority through the open week, even through today's practice. Just it was a bloody Tuesday. We went out there and we blocked guys on the perimeter and we improved. So we'll continue to do that every day and constantly work on that, because we've got to be able to utilize the perimeter with our speed and our size at wideout.
How do you work on managing the right way to play with a lead? A couple times this year, it seems like you've wanted a specific style, but also keeping your foot on the gas when it's 14-0 at halftime, or you get a 2-score lead in the second half of a Big Ten game. What's your thinking there?
Stay aggressive. Never a time like we're going to go until coach tells us to stop. And I think the previous game, I think we just one of those, we just never could get going. It wasn't us trying to take our foot off the pedal. It was just literally we just couldn't get going, couldn't get in a rhythm on offense. So I think you have to you have to keep attacking. And once you relax, you lose your edge, and once you lose your edge, bad things can happen.
Should be a lively crowd. I know you guys have worked with noise all offseason. How do you just feel about going into that environment where you're at?
I feel night and day from where we were the first game last year going to Colorado. I think our operation is good and it continues to improve, and it's going to be like any road game, right? It's going to be tough. It's going to have its challenges, but I feel good where we are from a communication and calling plays and getting the ball snapped. I feel really good where we are from that standpoint.
We'll mention you went to a clap system. For people that maybe don't understand the difference between what you guys were doing in Minnesota and Colorado, what you changed to, why is the clap system that good?
It's amazing. They can hear you. They can hear the clap of a quarterback's hand better than him screaming at the top of his voice. And 80, 90,000 people, and they can hear the clap, which there's people clapping everywhere. So I've never understood how it works, but it does. It's just more consistent sound, consistent rhythm, and it's been good for us. since we adjusted.
Now, there are defenses that will occasionally try to mess that up by clapping. Like,
Right.
have you seen anybody try to do that to you guys?
A couple of years ago, that was kind of the thing to do, but now they've, there's a lot of defenders that literally will clap their hands trying to get the attention of somebody on their side of the ball, and they'll get penalties called on them. So you got to be careful. Hurts the defense how they can communicate as well, but the referees have done a nice job of seeing when people try to do that.
Where have you seen Dylan grow the most, just in the first half of his first college season?
That's a good question. Maybe not taking all the trying to get him to not try to take all the blame for if some play goes wrong. It's not all your fault, and to be able to move on. Like, he has an unbelievable ability of just 2 or 3 things can happen. He can kind of pick it up, move on, and go from there. But just it's not all your fault. Appreciate the leadership aspect of that, but it's not always your fault. All of it your fault.
And for him, how helpful has a week off without a game been to just kind of clear his mind and to re-engage?
I think good, but he's still young. So, it's like those young guys, they hate bye weeks. Like, they want to keep playing and going and playing and competing. So I think they're ready. Him and all these guys are ready to get back out there and compete. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.